In what seems to be a university, a girl reflects on the possibility of finishing her studies before the next class. Her name is Shay Jones, and while trying to focus, she complains about being behind in her chemistry classes, considering university life to be brutal. While walking through the library, she notices an empty table and thinks that at least the place is almost deserted. As she passes behind another girl, she accidentally catches her gaze. Then, Shay decides to ask if she can study next to her, to which the short-haired girl agrees with a kind gesture. Shay sits down and starts studying, or at least tries to, because soon she starts questioning whether what she's doing makes sense. Finally, she concludes that she can't concentrate. Not like this, not when she inevitably shifts her gaze toward the girl beside her. She realizes that she's the prettiest girl she has ever seen, and to her surprise, the girl returns her gaze. This makes Shay so nervous that she ends up spitting out the pencil she was holding in her mouth. In her mind, Shay reflects on how distracted that girl makes her. Additionally, she feels the embarrassment of being caught staring at her. Over and over, she tells herself that she's incredibly cute, exactly her type. She begins to notice her features, her blue eyes, her big, full lips, and, well, the fact that she seems to work out often. Shay thinks she's the cutest and sexiest tomboy she's ever seen and wants to ask her out. She wonders why she has existed for so many years on Earth, if not for this precise moment. She's convinced she can. However, despite her desires, she feels a bit scared. At that moment, she remembers her friend's advice from a few days ago. According to her friend, if she ever felt scared to talk to someone, she should just make a sound in their direction to break the ice and then act normally. Shay reflects on this idea and concludes that she has no choice but to try it. After all, in the worst-case scenario, she would live the rest of her life with the scars of her embarrassment. Determined, she starts making some noises until unexpectedly, she lets out a meow. That catches the other girl's attention, who, somewhat surprised, asks if she's okay, as she just meowed. Shay looks at her completely blank, but shortly after her expression changes. In the end, her strategy had worked. Shay is somewhat nervous, unable to form a sentence, but soon she starts blurting out a few words. Just as the other girl asks if she needs something, Shay reflects on the fact that she has an intimidating gaze. She adds that the sound trick worked, but she's still afraid to talk to her. She questions herself about what she should do now. She's come this far, and all that's left is to ask her out. She couldn't embarrass herself more than with the meow from a moment ago. However, that seems impossible, as she can't speak. Maybe she could just give her number and run away. Finally, she decides to do it. She writes down her number while trembling, thinking she'll be honest since it's the only thing she can. After writing it, she realizes it's illegible because, trembling, she wrote it wrong. She thinks this will never work, but manages to focus and starts writing it again. When she finishes, she hands the note to the girl and says goodbye. She walks calmly toward the exit, leaving the short-haired girl full of doubts. Shay, once she's at a distance where she can no longer be seen, starts running away before the other girl reads the note. The girl takes the note and reads it. She discovers that Shay wrote she finds her very beautiful and asks if she would like to go out for lunch sometime, leaving her number at the end. This leaves the short-haired girl blushing. On the other hand, Shay, exhausted from running, thinks that what she did was not cool at all. Then she murmurs to herself that she'll probably never see her again. She couldn't be more wrong, as the other girl catches up to her and asks her to wait. Shay thinks she just needs to stay calm and act like it's a normal interaction. She turns around to greet her and ask what's going on. The other girl asks to talk to her for a moment, confessing that she feels very flattered. She begins to say something like, "She is..." Find the words. In the end, she tries to say something, but Shay mentions the word gay, causing an awkward moment. Afterward, Shay tries to ease the tension by telling her not to worry and apologizing for bothering her. However, the short-haired girl seems to want to talk more, but Shay mentions that they'll see each other later, something that catches the other girl's attention, who finally says she hasn't finished talking. After that, she briefly recalls a conversation she had with a boy. In the present, the girl mentions that she is not gay or anything like that, but she has never dated a girl. Still, she admits she has fantasized about it before and about other things as well. Additionally, she mentions that she has no idea what she is doing but reveals that she feels a bit curious, blushing even more. Shay observes her and then thinks that sounds a bit gay. Then she distressed so much and assures her that there is nothing difficult about it, indicating that the only important point is whether she thinks she is sexually attracted to women or not. Upon hearing this, the short-haired girl blushes even more and confesses that the reason she followed her there was, in fact, because of what happened yesterday. She saw her in the library and loved her hair and style. Also, the way she talked with her friends and made them laugh seemed so reliable and cool. Today, when she sat at the same table next to her, she couldn't even concentrate on her work as she kept getting distracted. She confesses that she finds her very beautiful and, honestly, is the kind of woman she has fantasized about. She apologizes, as she believes she surely noticed her staring, but the truth is that she felt very attracted to her. Shay, upon hearing all this, is left speechless and thinks she is the gayest person she has ever met. Then, the short-haired girl asks if she would agree to go out with someone inexperienced like her and says she would really like to try. Shay begins to formulate her response but asks for a moment. She steps away a little and, praying to God, says that she knows she hasn't been his most devoted believer, but wants to express that she doesn't know what she did to deserve this. Additionally, she considers changing her lifestyle to build several churches in his honor. After thanking God, she returns to the short-haired girl and tells her that it doesn't matter if she has no experience, because, in fact, she never... Before she can finish speaking, the other girl interrupts her, saying that it makes her very happy to know that she will be going out with someone used to this since she was a bit scared. She confesses that she would prefer to be with someone experienced and confident, someone who can guide her and take the lead since she is a bit clumsy. She adds that she really seems like someone cool and reliable. All this leaves Shay confused and speechless. She responds that, yes, cool and reliable are her traits, but in reality, she is scared because she feels like she just dug her own grave too quickly in front of the girl she has a crush on. Then, Shay asks her to wait a moment while she reflects. She thinks the girl seems cool, reliable, and experienced. However, the truth is something else. Before confessing she has no experience, she directs her gaze toward her crush. She considers that she is very cute and really doesn't want to ruin the opportunity, so she decides to fake confidence and says yes, asking her to leave the difficult things to her. The short-haired girl asks if it wouldn't be a problem to have a date with her. She responds honestly, telling her that she finds her really sweet, is excited to invite her out, and that she can count on her. Finally, she introduces herself. "I'm Shay." The other girl smiles happily and responds that her name is Charlie, adding that she is delighted to meet her. Shay admits that her name suits her perfectly, which makes Charlie blush while thanking her for the compliment. Shay takes the opportunity to tell her that, even though they just met, she has the next hour free and proposes having lunch together to enjoy some time. The proposal makes Charlie blush even more, and she asks if it's not too soon for that. Shay replies that maybe it is, but adds that they say relationships between girls tend to move quickly. Charlie tries to respond, but in the end, ends up running while yelling that she is not mentally prepared and that she will send her a message later. This leaves Shay alone. She falls to her knees, reflecting that she wasn't prepared either. She was just trying to act like someone cool. She admits that she hadn't noticed how hard it could be to talk to someone so charming. She confesses that her adrenaline is pumping as if she had been in a car accident. But still, she did it. She invited her out. She looks at Charlie, who is somewhat far away, and tells herself that indeed, she has a date with someone so adorable. More precisely, with a pretty girl. Shay spends the rest of the day thinking about this. Her date will be with a pretty girl. 3 days later, Shay is still thinking about her date with Charlie. However, she doesn't understand why she hasn't received any text messages all week. After that, we see what happened after Shay's proposal. It's just at that moment when Charlie arrives home and someone greets her. The girl asks if she got out early, and her sister responds that she did, explaining that she had a substitute in her biology class. Then, she asks how her classes went. Charlie responds that everything was normal but turns a little red. This doesn't go unnoticed by her sister, Annie Cotton, who immediately asks her to wait a moment. She approaches Charlie and asks if she met someone. Quickly, Charlie responds with another question, trying to find out what she means, but internally questions how her sister could tell. It is then that Annie, without beating around the bush, asks if it's a girl. This leaves Charlie completely red and nervous, wondering if her sister can read her mind. Annie questions her if she really thinks she can fool her. Charlie, with no other choice, asks if she's that easy to read, to which Annie confidently nods. Faced with this, Charlie decides there's no point in denying it and admits that maybe her sister already knows about her orientation. Finally, she confirms that she's right and reveals that it's a cute girl who asked her out a while ago. This surprises Annie, although Charlie takes the opportunity to ask how long she had known she was like that. She doesn't recall ever talking about girls. Annie confesses that she had been suspecting for a couple of years, but the night they had that double date a year ago was when she finally confirmed it. She recalls that Charlie was completely interested in the cute waitress who served during the date. Charlie admits that it's somewhat embarrassing. Then she heads to her room while commenting that now she has to decide what to wear for the date, considering she might need to go shopping. Her sister wishes her good luck and tells her that if she needs help, she shouldn't hesitate to let her know. Charlie begins to think about what to choose for her outfit before sending a message to Shy. She confesses that she wants something cute, something that will really impress her. As she looks at a piece of clothing, she thinks that something feminine and delicate could be a good. As she looks in the mirror, a memory invades her. A man telling her with disdain if she was joking, that muscular girls disgusted him and that no guy would be attracted to a tomboy. Back to the present, Charlie dismisses the idea. She looks at her phone at the same time she notices her sister watching her from the doorway. Don't forget to support the creators of this webtoon. You can do so by leaving them a message of encouragement, liking their work, or even following them. I'll leave the link in the description with information about the comic and its creators. And with that, we've reached the end of this week's chapter. If you made it all the way to the end, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this chapter in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so our community can keep growing and we can reach more fans like you. See you in the next video. In the meantime, if you're from the near future, I'll leave you the next chapter and a comic you're sure to enjoy. Thank you for being part of this adventure.